Welcome and thanks for joining us at Funeral Innovations. In these videos, we chat with industry leaders to discuss marketing trends, tips, and technology innovation, and discuss how digital marketing helps you better serve your families. I'm Heather Musieski. I'm the marketing director here at Funeral Innovations.
And I'm Joey. I'm the marketing and design coordinator at Funeral Innovations.
Cool. And today our guests are Gerard Brockmeyer Jr. and Gerard Brockmeyer Sr. from Vital Ice. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Awesome. Hey, do you guys want to start by just telling us a little bit about yourselves and about Vital Ice?
Well, maybe I can go first with the start by yourself because I've been at it for a long time. I've actually been dealing with funeral homes off and on for over 40 years. I started a company by the name of Midwest Consumer Specialties, Memorial Service Marketing, where we did memo boards that go on refrigerator doors and with funeral homes. And we used to do a pre-mailing with it, did a lot of mailings with it, upper age bracket mailings. And came about that we started we were actually asked to do it by a couple of funeral homes, and it worked so well we did it for all of them. Put the EMS information on the back of our boards, where the seniors could have their medicines that they were taking, the medicines that they were allergic to, their blood type, any of their, different kind of what was wrong with them, what was right with them, their emergency contact person, all that kind of thing. And then put our heads together because we kind of knew that it was coming, that we wanted to get involved with this at a whole nother level. And that's where the app came from. Started asking funeral directors about this and saying, hey, if we had an app to go with this, with the boards, would you be interested? And it was overwhelming how many of them said, heck yeah, what do we do with this? How do we do about this? So we started asking a lot of questions about what they would want and what they thought was necessary, because they were dealing with the older population all the time. So got a lot of ideas from them, put a lot of things together with the IT people. We weren't smart enough to do it ourselves. So you ask enough questions and can you do this? Can you do that? And if they said no, we hung in there for a while until they said yes on what we wanted on the app. And that's how it all came about.
Awesome. So would you guys mind talking a little bit about how you serve the funeral industry specifically, like through your app, and how it ties in, how the two tie in together?
Good. Yeah, the app itself is an in case of emergency app. It was designed, like you just heard, it was specifically for funeral homes to be able to put out in their communities, link them up with the local EMS. And so what the app then in turn does, it has the funeral home's logo on it, sponsoring the app because they're the one bringing it to the community, making it available to the community. So it gives the funeral home a different way to put their name out there, to be perceived, to be active in the community, because they have the opportunity to do something that actually helps save lives. And instead of being there at the end, they can be there during to try and help you prolong getting to the end. So it ended up being a really nice, everybody kind of always laughs when they see the press release in the paper or something where it said funeral home saving lives. That oxymoron that kind of catches everybody's attention, but it really is, like I said, it's another opportunity. It's a different way for a funeral home to have their name out there. And with the way the app is based, it can be marketed, can be shown and everything. It's great to show on websites. It's great to show on social media like Facebook and things like that. So it's a marketing tool that kind of reaches all ends, to where, like I said, the social media, the websites, the community events, lunch and learn, seminars. It's a handy tool for them to be able to use to in turn reach out into the community.
The funeral industry has changed so much that same old stuff doesn't work anymore. And so a lot of funeral homes, a lot of them are looking for a product just like this, where they can have their name out there, but it's associated with living. We've had more funeral directors where we're getting ready to walk out the door, pass on the back, saying, you would not believe how we have to overcome the perception that we're like the Grim Reaper waiting at the door for somebody to die. What this product does is it reaches out in the community saying, not only do we want you to be here, we have a way to help you be here. It's awesome. It's an amazing product that has a lot of things attached to it. It's, when you say it's an app, but oh my gosh, what comes with it is pretty amazing.
When one of the things I really heard you guys say that I think would resonate with funeral directors is that this is about helping other people. And I hear that from our clients so often, that really what they view their mission is to help people at a really different time. So here's another way to just put that out there for their community.
And it has a before and after effect too, because it's great to talk about if you're putting a group together, talk about pre-need. It's amazing to talk about if you're putting a group together for aftercare. Oh my gosh, what this thing has in it and the ability that it has to help people on its own. It's seriously, it sounds like, it's like, oh, this guy, he's pumping it up what he's doing, but it's really amazing. The product is amazing for what it does and how it helps people.
When did you
it makes you feel good about what you're doing.
Yes. When did you say that the product launched? When did Vitalize start?
It was back in 2015.
In 2015. Can you give us a little update on, say, like the changes to the app over the past several years, or has it stayed pretty consistent, or is it different now than it was at the beginning?
I mean, in the general concept, it is kind of the same, but as with any app that's out there, you have to keep evolving, keep up to date with the changes to the phones and everything else. But we've added and increased and enhanced the location software within the app. It is really accurate when you let somebody know that you're in need of help and where you are. We've added to the medical information that's there, the different medical outcomes, different things that are going on that you can walk through. You can store your insurance card within the app. Keep updating the database of medications, because there is now a full medication reminder within the app as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
There's a monthly reminder that goes out telling folks, asking them, have you updated your medical information in your Vitalize app? Automatically goes out to each subscriber. So it's I don't want to sound trite when I say this, but when it was put together, it was pretty thoroughly put together, because we asked a lot of questions for a long time to a lot of funeral homes and a lot of seniors. What would you want if you had this? What would you want in it?
And in turn, we back that up by going to local EMS here and saying, well, this is what we're hearing on your end. What are the steps we need to take? Because we are 100% HIPAA compliant. So we had to make sure all along the way we were staying compliant, and plus making sure that it was getting to the targeted information that the paramedics, EMTs need.
Makes sense.
So in talking about changes to the app and how you guys have been, how things have changed over the past few years, looking at in the last few months, like how have you guys been impacted by the pandemic, and have you had to make any adjustments to the app because of that?
As far as changes to the app, we haven't really had to make any changes to the app itself. We've kind of had to change what we do to go about seeing people, because we are
Haven't been able to get out of the house.
We're still some of the rare ones that still go into the funeral home every day of the week. We don't do this via email and via phone calls and that sort of thing. So that's been different for being home for over 3 months. We're usually on the road 4 days a week, every week, seeing funeral homes and servicing them in person. And because a lot of times questions that they have are questions that, can be answered via email, can be answered via phone, but it's also something that if somebody, trying to think of the best way to say it, if somebody doesn't understand an app or how an app works, you show them in person and they can get it like that, as opposed to trying to walk them through kind of a little bit. So there's a lot of things and some different nuances that we're trying to make sure funeral homes and funeral directors understand how to market it, how to use it, some different things like that we're just we're doing our best to kind of super serve everybody and on top of kind of where we're at with things and staying up to date.
It's so much easier to do in person.
Yeah.
It's so much easier, but it's one of those things we haven't been able to. So we have basically been talking to a lot of our previous customers and renewing them by phone and things like that, because they already knew us. They already knew what we had. They already knew what we could do. It's been very difficult to get new customers because it's hard to reach out and show the app. It's like, here's my phone. Do you want to see it? So it's because you actually have to show this app on your phone. So it's pretty hard to do a demonstration unless you're there in person and going through it all. So
Yeah, I imagine so. And it sounds like you guys are missing the human contact, just like
a lot. Because you're talking to a couple of people that really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy in today's world, but that's what I was brought up doing. That's what I know. That's what he knows, because that's what he got brought up doing.
Yeah,
So
and besides, I have a wife and daughter at home. I think are tired of me. So,
I hear you. My kids are definitely tired of me being thorough. So since you guys have been in the industry for a while, can you just talk in general about some of the changes that you've seen take place in the industry over the years?
When you say for a while, I guess you're talking to me.
yeah, I'll let him take this one. You can see the experience of theirs.
I get that all the time.
I bet.
When you're working with your kid, it's tough sometimes. I'm telling you, no respect. But anyway, it used to, the business has evolved and changed so much, because it was, when I first started, it was a business that was passed on generation wise. And a lot of times, whatever dad did or whatever grandpa did, I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything different. We're here. We lasted this long. Why? I don't want to rock the boat. Things changed. They changed, and not just with COVID. I mean, they changed a long time ago, where more and more things that people used to do, they quit working. A lot of mailings and those kind of things quit working. They weren't getting the feedback. They weren't getting the immediate response that they had gotten before and things like that. So the business had changed. Some of the business had changed for some folks, unfortunately, towards cremation and different things like that. So the service side of this had to bring in services and different things like that, and different modes of making money in their business. I think social media has changed a lot of they've had to change a lot of people's minds from a funeral director standpoint. The newspaper has become almost a thing of the past. The things that used to work, like church bulletins and yellow page ads and those kind of things, they've all changed. Those things don't work anymore. They just don't. And more and more people were on social media, whether they were 20 or 80, they were on social media. The older folks were seeing their grandkids on social media. It's how they were seeing it when they didn't live right next door, things like that. So the funeral homes had to adapt to that. People like us in the advertising business had to adapt to that. From memo boards and information on the back of memo boards for EMS to doing it, for goodness sakes, doing an app. So it's changed a lot. I mean, it's like 180 degree change. And you have to change with the times. You have to adapt to that, or else you get swallowed up and left behind. So having somebody younger around helps with that. Slaps you around once in a while, say, no, we got to do it like this, Dad. No, we got to, so I get it. And watch people change, and not as many businesses get hand down family to family now. There's more people buying into the industry in different places. You have conglomerates buying in, but some of those get sold off, and people come in, young entrepreneurs come in and buy those funeral homes from them when they don't do as well with them and stuff like that anymore. So yeah, it's changed a lot, and it's become a younger industry. A lot of younger funeral directors in the business, and they have young ideas. And I think that's why our product came in at the right time. It just did. I mean, we're working with over 4,100 funeral homes now.
Wow.
And and it's been a big part of it is a lot of the younger funeral directors see the vision of what it takes today to reach the people.
Yep. That all makes a lot of sense. And I think it really reflects what we've heard from our clients and what we've seen as our business has progressed over the past few years. Yeah. Joey, do you have another question?
Yeah, so kind of speaking to, obviously you guys were talking about how social media has changed things and a lot of things are becoming, more digital, and you were talking about how funeral directors are younger now, you're seeing. So kind of speaking on those trends, like what technology trends do you see kind of for the future of your industry, and moving forward, what things can we expect?
Young one, go ahead.
Social media is going to stay a big part of it. It just is just the way people communicate anymore. People are in their phone anymore. They talk on their phone. So I think you're going to see you're going to have a lot of more personalized options, I think, in the funeral industry, as opposed to kind of everybody doing their cookie cutter service. They're going to adapt, and people are going to want things a specific way and personalized way. And you're also going to see a lot of, and I think COVID has brought some of this on quicker than they probably anticipated. You're going to see a lot of streaming services. A lot of people are going to attend services via phone or via a Ring Central or a Zoom or whatever you want to say. It's a lot of it is going to go this route to where I don't know that you're going to always pack funeral homes anymore. You're going to have a lot of streaming services, a lot of viewings and things done remotely and things like that. It's just the way people seem to keep going. Like I said, you can walk through you could used to walk through a restaurant before all this. Now you can walk through a restaurant at 25%, but everybody's got their head down on their phone. Everybody just talks via the phone. And so that's kind of what everybody I know that's where you guys came into this along the way too, is funeral homes being able to reach out to people that have their head buried in their phone. And so that's just kind of what they have to get used to and where it's at.
Yeah, for sure. We have that same philosophy of we should meet people where they are and provide a connection. People still need a connection. We want to provide it where they are because that's just the fact of the matter right now. Even though I still do believe people need that human interaction too.
No doubt. And I'm that old school person that really does need that, but it's just me talking personally. That's, for me, I miss it. I miss it a lot. Four walls is a son of a gun for somebody that's been on the road and doing things like that for 35, 40 years. It's pretty tough, I tell you.
Very nice. I was wondering if you guys could talk about maybe any future plans you have for the app. Do you have any, anything in the works for updates moving forward on the app? Things you're looking to change that haven't happened quite yet, or anything like that?
How about stay home?
We've kind of, well, first off, with every app, you always have to constantly update. Like I said, there's updates in the works right now because of phones getting bigger, phone resolutions getting bigger. Apple switched their operating system up a little bit, so we had to make updates there. But the other thing is our app has a notify. It's an emergency alert system in it where you can alert up to 10 of your contacts that you're in need of help. But there's also been some feedback we've gotten that people also want to have that available to not necessarily say, I need help, but just let you know I'm okay and I'm at home. So there's going to be a button added to it to where you can let everybody know, yeah, I'm safe at home. I'm good to go.
It's like a Home Alone feature.
So, yeah, or for if there's a tornado in their area or something like that.
We kept hearing about from different funeral homes, and we're constantly talking and listening, but that they would go into a home and somebody had passed away and had been there for 2-3 days, but nobody had ever made contact with them. And so everybody should have somebody that they stay in contact with. That shouldn't happen. And so it's become a big deal to them. It's become a big deal to the industry. So that's why we thought we're working at adding that to the app as part of it, and just call it like a home alone feature where nobody ever is really home alone. So it's good from a lot of aspects. It's got to relieve, you know, I mean, it just is. It's got to make everybody feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at in society today anyway. So, I mean, if it helps, it helps. That's what it's about.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
So this is our last question. We ask this question to everybody that comes on. What's the most important lesson you've learned from serving in this industry?
For me, it's probably the fact of what the funeral director, the funeral home owner, about them. You don't think about it as much. I mean, I not too recently lost somebody very, very, very dear to me, close to me, and funeral directors to me, it's become a ministry for them. You don't realize that when you're first starting to talk to funeral homes, because you're in business, you're a business person talking to that business person, and you're in there selling a product, and that's kind of the way you feel about it. You don't get to spend a whole lot of time. The thing that this product has let us do and let me do personally is you get to spend more quality. I get to spend more quality time with the person I'm talking to, with my funeral home owner, with my funeral director. And this thing is truly, a funeral director is committed. I mean, it is a ministry for them. It's not just a business. And I have come to appreciate that. I mean, I really have. I mean, they take a back seat to nobody when it comes to, because they're having to deal with people at the very worst time of anything that they can go through. And to me, that takes a special person to be able to do that. And I have a whole nother admiration for them because of that. And it's one of the reasons I enjoy doing what I do, because I feel like I'm helping them do their job.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Gerard
Awesome.
Jr.?
No, he pretty well summed that up pretty good there. It's because we both lost the same person, and it was, like I said, we kind of saw it all firsthand and went through it all, and kind of the way they were always there for you to, with the calls, with the pat on the back, with the hug, with the help anytime needed. It's like I said, I kind of went from just kind of talking to these guys every day, just one-on-one, to kind of really having a different kind of a view of seeing what they did when you kind of go through it firsthand. So that is.
Well, I really appreciate those responses from both of you. That's great insight for people who I think haven't been part of this industry.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that is it for us. So thank you so much, Gerard Sr. and Gerard Jr. from Vital Ice. We really appreciate your time. And thanks for joining us this week on Funeral Innovations, Trends, Tips, and Tech. We'll be posting this video on our blog, on our YouTube channels, and on our Facebook feed. So definitely check those out. And we'll be back with another show soon. So check back in with us next week. And if you have any topics you'd like to see discussed, or someone you'd like to hear from in an interview, add that in the comments down below if you're watching this recorded. And be sure to check out our website at funeralinnovations.com. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.